Hello, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. In this video, I'm so excited to actually share this with you. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I manifested contact from my ex-boyfriend. We had been in no contact for 1 year, and I did a manifesting technique in 1 month ago, and he contacted me just this past weekend. So how did I manifest contact from someone? And it was very loving contact from him, from someone who I had a falling out with, was not in great terms with, and we hadn't talked for a year. How did I do this? That's what I'm going to talk about in this video. Before I jump in, please make sure you're subscribed to my channel in the corner or below. Also know that I offer lots of self-study manifesting courses. I do have a course down there called How to Be Missed, Contacted, and Pursued. It's right there in the description. This is my course. If you want to manifest contact, you want to manifest more contact with a specific person, that is the course. Hundreds of people have taken that course. So if you want, you can check it out as well. The last thing I'll say is I do a weekly giveaway for a bundle of 3 ebooks that I wrote. The way to enter into the contest is to subscribe to my channel, to like this video, and to comment below. Okay, I'm really excited to jump into this video with you. It's important. Of course, it's just my own personal experience of manifesting contact from someone I had no contact with. And I can really see how I was able to do this. And so, of course, I want to share my detailed process with all of you. So first, a little bit of backstory about my ex-boyfriend and I. He and I went into no contact about 1 year ago. And we had a 3-year relationship, or 2.5, 3-year relationship. It was a very serious relationship. We were actually engaged at one point. It was also a tumultuous relationship, so there was a lot of kind of back and forth that happened between us, but it was a really deep relationship and very significant for both of us. And actually, if you want to peek into my private life, I'm pretty sure there are still pictures of him and I on my Instagram. So if you are curious and you want to look behind the scenes, I'm pretty sure there's pictures of him and I on my Instagram. You can go check us out. You have to scroll down quite a bit though. But anyways, yeah, so when he and I went into no contact, we were not on good terms, obviously. That's often what happens when people go into no contact. And I had been having my own personal process around forgiving him. I did do a video on what to do if you're angry at someone. I'll link it up there if you want to watch it afterwards. And I talk about forgiveness in that video. I did do my own process around forgiving him. And I wasn't sure, at a certain point, I'd say like within the past year, I wasn't sure if he and I would ever be in contact again. However, about 1 month ago, and I remember the exact date because I remember where I was when I had this visualization. It was the last weekend of August. Yeah, like late August. I had a very significant visualization about him and about him and I. And the visualization was this. It was a very detailed and deep visualization. And I have to say, I didn't like intentionally go into this visualization, but it just started to arise for me naturally. I was thinking about him and the visualization started to arise for me naturally, and I went with it. So what the visualization was him telling me, I forgive you. I love you. I'm always going to love you. I feel unconditional love for you. He didn't say those words, but that was the tone. It was him saying, I've already forgiven you. This is actually what he said. He said, I've already forgiven you. I forgave you a long time ago. And I love you. Like, I'm always going to love you. These were the things that he said in the visualization. And the exchange between him and I was this unconditionally loving space. It was a very vivid visualization, okay? So then what happened after the visualization, this is kind of one of the key points, is I dropped it. I dropped it. So what does that mean? Well, I went on with my life. There was no part of me grasping for that end result. There was no part of me trying to make that happen. There was no part of me super attached to that even happening. I just kind of dropped it. I had the visualization, I felt the truth of it, I enjoyed the beauty of it when I was in the visualization and in the inner experience of it. It felt amazing. And then I went on with my life. Meaning, I just kept living my life, doing what I do, being with people that I'm with, hanging, I just kept doing my life. Well, this past weekend, just a couple days ago, I picked up my phone and there was a very, very loving text from him saying, I'd like to talk to you and I would like to see how you are. And he was the last person I expected to see in my text messages. We haven't been in contact for a year. The tone of his message, because him and I, and because of our history, and we have like this very long, in-depth history together that was hot and cold and off and on in a lot of things in the relationship. It could go a lot of different ways, but the tone in his, meaning, he could have messaged me with a tone that wasn't so loving, but he actually messaged me with a tone that was very loving. We ended up getting on the phone and we had a really lovely 2-hour conversation that was incredibly healing for both of us. And in fact, it wasn't till I got off the phone with him and I messaged him the next day and I said, oh my gosh, I had a vision of this happening. I had a vision of us being in this forgiveness ceremony together. And I had a vision of us relating in this way. He really gets manifesting. He's deeply spiritual. So, he understands all these things. That's not out there to him. He manifests too. He understands all this. And so, he wasn't surprised. He was surprised and not surprised, of course. So this is what happened. And now it's a little bit of a different situation because I'm not manifesting to be back into a relationship with him. So this sometimes, of course, can make it a little bit more simple of a situation. We may say that, or we may think of it that way. The reason is I wasn't, when we want to be in a relationship with someone, that's where a lot of attachment comes online. That's where the attachment to something happening, something very specific happening, that's where that attachment comes from, really needing and wanting the specific thing. Now, of course, we can manifest specific things. This is an example of that. I still manifested a specific thing. There just was very little attachment, meaning I had the vision, I had the inner experience. Honestly, the inner experience, it was like being in a forgiveness space with him. I wasn't needing it to manifest into form. It already happened in my inner world. Literally, he was like, I forgive you and I unconditionally love you and that's never going to change. And I essentially said the same thing to him. So I wasn't looking for an outer result. Honestly, I was satisfied by that inner result. And because I was satisfied by that inner result, so much so that I just could continue with my life as, you can say as if it already happened, but it also didn't come to mind anymore. It was like I had the vision, I felt it. He and I, as far as I was concerned, were in a forgiving space together. Did I think about him from that month on? I'm sure I did. Did I think about him from that forgiven space? Yes, I'm sure I did. Because it already happened. In my inner world, the forgiveness had already happened and the loving connection had already happened. And then, miraculously, that word is hard for me to say, but then like magic, he appears in my text messages, right? Here it is. Here is the manifested experience. And we ended up, exchanging in a very similar way as we did in my vision. So I think the key to this manifestation, because it is a big one, he's the person who I had the most resentment with in my recent life. He is the person with the most struggled relationship. He is the person who, there was the most struggle in our relationship. And so in that way, he would be my hardest manifestation because of our recent history and our past and our breakup and all the struggles that came from that. In that way, he would be the hardest person for me to manifest. because I wasn't manifesting him to enter back into a relationship, that loosens the attachment. So let's look at specifically why I feel I was successful in manifesting this. Well, I felt it real. I went into the deep visualization of him and I exchanging in this really loving way. I felt it real. I was satisfied in that end result. It already happened inside of me. And that's number one, right? So I did the deep visualization plus the feeling it real. That's number one. That's like the technique. Step two, I let it go. The way I personally let it go in this experience was I continued with my life and did not feel a lack of that experience. I did not feel a lack of him. I did not feel a lack of our relationship. I just continued with my life. Now, that's one version of letting go. Another way we can let go is to continue to live in the end and expect and know it's going to happen. But in this version of letting go, which I think can be really, it can like really help us manifest pretty quickly, was I really, really let it go. I wasn't waiting around for it to happen. I wasn't waiting. This is so huge. I did a video a long time ago about waiting. I'm going to do another one soon, but I'm going to link it up there. Waiting, understanding how to deal with your waiting when you're manifesting is really important. So watch that video afterwards. I wasn't waiting for him to contact me. I moved on with my life. I was okay. I just kept doing me. And then 1 month later, after 1 year of no contact, and honestly quite a bit of resentment, where we left our relationship, there was a lot of resentment between us. We had hurt each other really bad. We both felt quite hurt. And so 1 year of no contact, wouldn't have necessarily have even expected to hear from him, didn't expect to get the text message, but I had that visualization. It was very potent, and here comes the text message. And then we went into our deeper conversation and talked about our forgiveness, and it was beautiful. So this is my video on how I manifested contact from someone I had no contact with for 1 year. I just felt it real, and I let it go, and it happened. So I'm curious how this lands for you. How does this make you feel about people you are in no contact with? Or if you're trying to manifest contact with someone, what can you learn from this experience, if anything, if it resonates for you? And what can you start implementing from the experience? I would love to hear in the comments below. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here with me in this video. I love being here with you. I'll see you soon.